Hey, what's up? My name's J.M. Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week I want to talk about claiming your book, making your book your own through all the different identification numbers that mark it as your property, your creative work. Specifically, I'm talking about copyrights, ISBN numbers, and the barcodes that go with them, and the Library of Congress numbers, making sure that you get these for your book. You got to get them if you're self-publishing your book, right? But where to go and how to get them. So first, a disclaimer. This video is being recorded in August of 2023. I'm talking about different websites and where to go and what to click on and how to do, fill out forms and all this kind of stuff. They may change what they have on these websites between now and then. So if you're watching this video years from now, a year from now, whatever, go to the site and just keep in mind that the stuff that I'm telling you right now may change. But for now, this is kind of how it is, and this is kind of how it's been for a while. So without further ado, let's get into copyright. So copywriting, for some people, this is a hot button issue, and I don't know why. People get passionate about copyright. You don't need to copyright because your book's already copywrote before. Is it copywrote or copyrighted? What's the past tense of copyright? I could have looked that up, but I don't care enough. But you know what I mean. As soon as you write your book, your book's already copyrighted. Okay, yeah, that's true. I mean, you can bring up your manuscript and say, here, but, I love this one too, what they call the poor man's copyright, where you take your printed manuscript, the entire damn thing, mail it to yourself, and don't open it, because the stamp that it was mailed to has a date on it, and you just leave it on there, and now you can show someone the stamp. But now I want to think about the scenario that you would need to do these things. A case where the unthinkable has happened. The worst case scenario, someone has ripped you off and stolen your work. So now you're standing what? You're standing in some court or moderator or sending stuff to a lawyer and saying, look, no, look at the date stamp on this file. It's from 3 years ago. Or look, I have this unopened manuscript and I'm going to open it right here in front of this, a judge, a magistrate, like some sort of mediator? How does that pan out when the shit hits the fan? Like if you're really getting in trouble and someone's ripped you off, how do you execute on these things? You're already protected. Yep, it's going to go your way. Because you wrote the stuff and you can prove it. But for $65, you can get yourself a copyright. And for that, I think it's worth it. I mean, imagine if the unthinkable happens and someone rips you off. Someone plagiarizes your book, or likely, I've seen this happen. You release a book and someone scans it in and they're selling it. And you can point to a registration number and say, this is copyrighted under me, and I can prove it. Bang, here's a document. Done. Done and done. That's an email, basically, right? I've never gone through it. Hopefully I never have to, but I have to believe that if you have a copyright registration number, that it's a quick fix, rather than going through, you're going to send someone a screenshot of Windows Explorer showing the file name of your PDF with the date and time. No. Get a copyright, $65. So that's my little spiel on $65 copyrights and why I think it's worth it. But let's get into how to get a copyright. So it's pretty easy. Go to copyright.gov, and you may want to read some of the stuff that's there if you're interested in the law behind it all. But what you want to fill out is the standard form. I'm assuming, because if you're writing a novel, you're not going to have any pictures. Pictures, you need a different form, but if you're writing a novel with no pictures, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about if you have a picture book, if you have like some art in the beginning of your chapter or something like that. I'm not that's okay. I'm talking about like a picture book. So regular novels go through the standard form, and that brings you to another site. And I'm not going to recite it because it's a little wordy, but it's the site right here. And this is a Library of Congress site. I'm going to get to the Library of Congress later because these two things are sort of linked together, the copyright and your Library of Congress number. But essentially, you fill out a form and you upload your manuscript and off you go. Eventually, you'll get something in the mail that verifies that you are recorded in the database and that you are registered, and it'll say that you have to get them a copy of that book when you're done. That's really a Library of Congress recommendation. But getting your copyright, easy peasy, definitely worth it for the $65. ISBN numbers are required if you're going to sell your book anywhere else besides Amazon. Now, I say that because Amazon will give you like a free internal Amazon identifier that costs you nothing, but it's exclusive to Amazon. So when I did The Wicked Wound of Whitney Hill, I didn't post that or publish that anywhere else besides Amazon, and they gave me an Amazon number. Now, if I want to print on demand, if you walk into a Barnes & Noble and say, hey, get me a copy of this book, they can't because I don't have an ISBN number for it. So if you want to sell your book in other places besides Amazon, you need an ISBN number for each version of the book you're selling. So that's an ISBN for paperback, an ISBN for hardback, one for ebook, one for audiobook if you have that too. If you're only selling through Amazon, don't pay the money to get an ISBN because you can do it for free through Amazon if you're only selling through Amazon. Save yourself the money. But if you want the option to sell through Barnes & Noble and other bookstores and wherever, you'll need the ISBN. Now, having said that, ISBN numbers cost $295 for a pack of 10. I recommend you going through myidentifiers.com. This is Bowker. So Bowker is kind of the name when it comes to ISBN numbers. You can go through other people, but they'll charge you more. Go through Bowker. It's myidentifiers.com. A 10-pack is $295. If you're just buying one, they're going to charge you $110. And if you're doing paperback, hardback, oh, look, for two, you're already at $220. Why not spend the extra? You know you're going to write more books anyway. $295 gets you 10. So again, this is pretty easy under myidentifiers.com. Sign in or register, and then under register or copyright your book, you're going to click Buy ISBNs. Now you'll notice that it says register or copyright your book. You can buy your copyright through Bowker instead of copyright.gov, but it'll cost you $89 instead of $65. So I recommend going through copyright.gov. Once you have your ISBNs, you can click on My Identifiers. It's from the menu, and it's pretty intuitive. You basically assign each version of your book to one of the ISBNs. One for paperback, one for hardback, one for ebook, so on, right? Now from here, you can order barcodes. You just click Manage My Barcodes. Those, of course, are only for your print versions. Your ebook doesn't need a barcode because no one's going to be, swiping it in. It has an ISBN number. You're buying it electronically. That's all you need. But for anything printed, it needs to have an ISBN number printed on the back so someone can scan it and sell it to you. Barcodes cost $25. So when you click on Buy a Barcode, it's $25 for each printed version of your book, paperback and hardback. Once you've bought them, you click Manage. And Manage, now you can go in and kind of set it up. If your book has already a price in it, you can put the price right into the barcode. The other thing you can do is download the graphic of the barcode itself. Your cover artist is going to need these files because they're going to put your barcode on the back cover of your book when you send them, when you commission them to do your book cover, right? You'll have a nice front cover and a spine and a back cover. And your back cover needs to have that ISBN barcode on the back. So make sure you download copies of those and get them to your cover artist. Now we get into the Library of Congress. Now, I probably made this harder than I had to for myself. This was some lessons learned here. I know that when you copyright something, it automatically goes into the Library of Congress database. So you're kind of already covered with that. But what I wanted to do for my book on the copyright page is include the Library of Congress number. So I didn't have that yet. I wouldn't get it until I submitted my book through the Library of Congress, and then they wrote back to me and, gave me a number. But by then it would be too late. I couldn't put it in my printed copyright page of my book. So what I wanted to do was get the number before the book went to print so I could put it in the PDF itself for my, I keep saying print, but my ebooks copyright page as well, so I can put it in that PDF from my EPUB and my print. This is called a pre-assigned control number, and you need one of these if you're going to do what I wanted to do. So to do that, you've got to go to the Library of Congress, and that's loc.gov. Now, I've watched a lot of videos, and they talk about going to the Library of Congress, and they're like, yeah, just go to loc.gov. Anyway, but there's a lot to it to that. At least I found I stumbled around it, and I screwed up. I screwed up my account. I had to get someone to help me and bail me out. And thankfully, because I had gone through the copyright process, a lot of this stuff was already done anyway. So it was a pretty quick thing to fix. But I'm going to share with you what I went through, just in case you run into anything like this. If you run into any problems, I'm going to tell you how to get out of it. But first, I need to show you kind of where to go to set up your pre-assigned number if that's what you want to do. Now, first of all, as soon as you get to loc.gov, you're going to be whisked away because you're clicking away from that and going to another site. And that site is this site right here. So you may want to start there. That might be the quickest way to do it. The loc.gov site has a lot of information on the Library of Congress, so you may want to check that out anyway. So I do recommend going to loc.gov just to start there. But if you want to just dive right into your account and try to get your pre-assigned number, go to the site and you'll get directly into the place that you're going to wind up anyway. But let me show you how to get there from loc.gov. Now, from the main page of loc.gov, there isn't a very straightforward, click here to submit your book to the Library of Congress, or click here to get your pre-assigned number link. You kind of have to go through a few steps. So from loc.gov, you want to click on More and scroll down to Publishing. Now, before you click on pre-assigned control number, because that's what you do want, scroll down this page and it should list the address you're supposed to send a physical copy of your book once you have it. I'm guessing this building will still be on Independence Avenue, but just verify yourself to be sure. I didn't want to include the address in this video just in case it changed. But scroll down, make a note of that address because you're going to need it later when you send your physical copy of your book to the Library of Congress. Now scroll back up and click on Pre-assigned Control Number. Click on Publish and then click on Prepub Book Link. You can see it there in the middle. Scroll down to Publishers and click PCN Publishers. This brings you to that new site that I was telling you about earlier. From here, sign in and register and follow the forms. Now, you probably already have an account from when you did your copyright thing. But my dumbass, when I was going through this, I didn't connect the fact that this was the same website that I went to when I registered my copyright. I think that's where I screwed myself up. So this is going to be the same account that you used when you registered your copyright. So because I ran into a problem, I wasn't able to get into an area where I could upload my manuscript. But the thing of it is, I had already uploaded my manuscript through the copyright page. And it kept telling me that I was already registered. You see where this is going. Only in hindsight did I figure this out. If I did this correctly, I'm assuming I would have been able to get my pre-assigned control number and go from there. But if you run into any kind of problem, here's what you do. Go back to loc.gov. And just like before, you want to click on More and then Publishing and click on Pre-assigned Control Number, just like you did before. Then you click on Prepub Book Link, just like you did before. Okay, so from here, click on Publisher Liaisons. Now, depending on what your last name is, the first letters of your last name, you want to pick the liaison that's associated with your last name. Now, I didn't want to do a screenshot of that because that list may change. The person who was assigned to your name group may be different than it was in August when I'm recording this. So I didn't want to capture anyone's name or email address from a screenshot that I took in August if you're looking at this video in August of 2024 or even next month, because that might change. Who knows? So click on the list of liaisons and find your liaison based on the beginning characters, letters of your name. Once you have that, send that person an email. Explain your problem. Here's what you ran into. I'm not able to do whatever. I have this problem. I had great luck with my liaison. Got back to me very quickly. I was able to sign in, get my control number. Bada bing, bada boom, no problem, and I was on my way. Now, you're not quite done yet for Library of Congress stuff. If this is what you want to do, if you want to have your book in the Library of Congress, whether or not you have a pre-assigned control number or not, there's some stuff that you need. You can't just put printed in USA and slap the number on there. It's a little bit more than that. And so I'm going to read them off because there's a few and I haven't memorized them all verbatim and I don't want to screw this up. Now, you want to put the name of your publisher. Now, this can be your name. If you're self-publishing, this might be, you. Or it might be the sole proprietor or LLC or the doing business as name that you're using for your publishing company or publishing entity. You want to put the name of your publisher here and the town and state of publication. Now, in my case, I didn't know where my books were going to be printed necessarily because I'm doing so much print on demand, right? And where does Amazon print their books? Where does Ingram Spark print their books? Probably not the same town and state. So I put my town and state and my name. Then you want to put Library of Congress control number, colon, and the number they gave you. You can't write LCCN or LCC # or anything like that. You have to spell out the words, the full words. Library of Congress control number, followed by a colon and the number they gave you. No shorthand here. Lastly, you want to put in all caps, printed in the United States of America. Can't put printed in the USA or anything like that. Printed in the United States of America. Because guess what? The Library of Congress only catalogs books that were printed in the United States. So you need to show that you were published in the United States of America. And your page, your copyright page, is kind of like your promise that it was. I mean, they can look it up, but you're kind of putting it down on paper to verify it as well. So that's it. A lot of stuff, a lot of numbers go into identifying your book. That's where to go. That's how to claim them. Your copyright, your ISBN numbers, your barcodes, your Library of Congress numbers. By the way, it bears repeating that you're going to get that letter in the mail that talks about your copyright and your registration number and talk about the Library of Congress in the submission. So when you get your proofs back, and I'm talking about a proof that doesn't have the not for resale, like a real proof that's suitable for sale, send a copy to the Library of Congress from that address that you got, right? And you'll be on your way. Your book will be in the Library of Congress. How cool is that? Yeah. So that about wraps it up. I tried to keep this video as short as I could. There's a lot of information here. If you found this video helpful, if it was useful and it might help you in your publishing journey, please give it a like. And as always, please subscribe. I post most Thursdays, and you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And you can always check out jmchaley.com, see what's cooking over there, send me a message. Let's keep in touch. And The Unlife of Lisa Cooper comes out October 6th. All 40 episodes compiled into a novel from my Kindle Vella series, Vampire Goodness. Lots of action, lots of adventure, lots of fun. You're going to love Lisa's story. I know that you will. I had so much fun writing it, and I really think you're going to have fun reading it. So definitely check that out on October 6th. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your writing. Good luck with your publishing journey. And I will see you next time.